Hi, everybody. It's good to be here. Good to see you guys. I see so many people in my chat. It's funny because I see people here, but it tells me I don't have anybody here on my screen. So we'll see, right? I don't think it's ever right. Oh, I have three people here now. I know I've got more than that. I see you. Anyway, hi, Marilee. Thanks so much for being a member. Susan P, thank you so much. You're one of my favorite mods. You're all my mods are my favorite mods. Joe McCoy, good afternoon to you. Constance June, thank you so much for being a member. It's good to see you. I'm going to kind of take it a little bit easy today because we've got a pretty strong one coming up. So, seemed like there was something I was going to tell you. Oh, I know what it was. I'm going to add a perk to the members of the channel. So, starting in September, because we only got one day left this month. So starting in September, I'm going to do a once a month Zoom for all of the members. Doesn't matter what level you're on. So all members will have a Zoom with me. Not sure when I'm going to plan it or anything yet. I'm going to get with everybody and kind of see when is good. So it'll just be a chit chat. Like we won't really have a topic, I don't think. I mean, just whatever topic comes up. So I'm wanting to do that. I'm also going to do one with my mods to where I told them what I said, we can cuss and discuss. So the members, we can cuss and discuss too if you want. So that will be a once a month perk. I'm going to try to add some more as I think of some stuff to do. But I got to thinking about it and I would really like to be able to sit down and talk to you all face to face kind of deal. So on a Zoom, I'd be able to do that. I just dropped my can. Sorry. It was empty. But anyway, I drank one and I sat it over beside me and it just slid off my bedside table. Yes, I'm still sitting on my bed because I can lean back, y'all, and it feels so much better. By the time the lives are over, I'm not crying and I don't have to walk all the way from one end of the house to the other either. So while I'm exhausted, this might be where I do some of them. And I just appreciate y'all putting up with my very professional background I got going on here. I thought about doing one of those like the screens that they'll put up behind you. You can like it's a fake thing that's just behind you. It's a mirage basically. And anyway, but I've watched other people and when they move it messes up and stuff. And so anyway, I don't know. I'm gonna see. But yeah, Susan P, I think it'll be awesome too. I really do. Of course, my mods will be able to be there with the members as well. They'll be invited. So my mods and my members will all get a once a month. I'm going to try to do it. I don't know, maybe about mid month. If I do it about mid month every month, then that ought to be something. But it might be a little later. Just kind of depends on how I'm feeling. I'm going to try to plan it for one of the days whenever I'm not doing chemo. So anyway, be watching for that. And if you want to join in, you got to be a member. So, but anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. I haven't seen Mischief Managed peek in here yet. She's having kind of a rough day, y'all. She really is. So if you see her, give her some love, okay? From you to her and from me to you to her. Just all of us just share some love with Mischief Managed. She really could use it today. It's a rough anniversary of the loss of her daughter. So anyway, yes, Joel, I'm ready for tomorrow's stream too. I think it's going to be good. We're going to do um, part one tomorrow, and it's going to be something, y'all. I think all three parts of them will be. I think it's going to be something else. Oh, good. Marilee's back. She was watching Nora and Mitch, and I'm definitely going to go watch that as soon as I get this over with. So anyway, I'm going to get started now. So I have on here. So hello, 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 you beautiful people, beautiful, amazing people. I'm going to take it a little easy today, not as long or emotional as some of the lives I have coming up starting tomorrow. Oh, Joel, I didn't know that. I didn't know that you had lost your daughter. Whoops. Too. I didn't know that. I'm so, so, so sorry. I lost my sister, and I can't imagine losing a daughter. I can't imagine how my parents made it through it. I don't think they've ever been the same. Anyway, please make plans to watch the 3-part series I'm doing with our own Brooke Elliott. Starting tomorrow, we will dive into her childhood, not as a cult member, but certainly as an innocent child in an abusive, high control situation. Then we'll tackle her adulthood and trauma and how her childhood affected that. And finally, we will catch up with Brooke today, present time, her health, her daily struggle to simply survive. And I believe this will be an amazing and, live. I think that you're just going to be amazed by her story. Oh, gosh. Joel, I'm just so sorry. Anyway, I hope it opens up opportunities for others of you to share your story, cults or not, and actually even if you've had a wonderful life, I want to get to know you, each and every one of you. So it would thrill me if once a week even I had somebody on here that I could just get to know them. That's what I would like to do. So, seriously, you don't have to have had a traumatic life experience. If you just want to come on and chat just about life, just let me know. Just email me or Facebook message me or something. So, anyway, I can't wait. So, sit back, enjoy today's topic because while Brooke's story will be entertaining on some level, it's also going to be incredibly deep and dark, guys. That's why I'm going a little lighthearted today. Again, welcome to this channel. We have memberships, super chats, and PayPal and Cash App available should you want to help this channel. I'm putting the money towards either buying a laptop or paying my chemo. Probably going to have to just go with paying the chemo and do what I can on the laptop for a while. But anyway, so I need to pay what do you call it? The copay on my ongoing chemo treatments. So any kind of help that you all give the channel is very much appreciated, but it's never expected. And I don't love any of you any less, either if you don't contribute monetarily. It doesn't matter to me. It's just a nice little perk if you do. It's just a way of me kind of making a living a little bit on this channel. But whether you choose to or not, or you can or not, it doesn't matter. I still love every one of you. And every time I see your names pop up in the chat or in the comment section afterwards, I just am like, yay. Marilyn with her little seal clap, that's me. Only I don't want to copy her seal clap because she's kind of got that thing going on, kind of like the burnt biscuits and the spatulas. So, anyway, thank you to all of our members, subscribers, chat, lurkers, and my incredible mods. No mod gate going on here, guys. I have got the best mods. But should one of them step out of line a little bit and you have a problem, just come to me and tell me. I don't think it'll happen, but I'm just saying people are people. And sometimes fingers can accidentally time you out or even block you without them even meaning to. They may be trying to star something and hit one of the, because they're so close. And if they're on a phone, it's really close. So if there's an issue, don't get mad at the mod and don't get mad at me. Just come to me and ask, and I'll tell you straight up if there was a reason or if it was absolutely an accident. And if it's an accident, we'll fix it. Okay? The channel rule is don't be a jerk. If you're a jerk, my mods won't tolerate that one bit, y'all. That said, even differing opinions are absolutely fine until they're not. Once you travel over to the jerk level, then you're gone, okay? So let's get started, y'all. My timer started, and my mods are quick to hit that time to rest button. So I'm sure you all have seen them messaging me or putting little chats up there saying, you know. And when Mischief gets here, which she probably will, she'll probably be mad at me because I've went 10 minutes, almost 10 and a half minutes, and haven't really said anything. So, but this one's not as long, y'all. Okay. So today's topic is, do Scientologists believe the story of XENU? Well, everything that I looked into said that if they are below the OT level 3, the answer is absolutely not. They've never been told that story, and if you tell it to them, they're going to tell you that you are crazy, that you are lying, that you're making it up. They're going to make fun of you. They're going to think that you're silly. All these things because they don't know it. They've never been told it. They will swear it's not the truth. If they are O2, OT3 or above, the answer changes to a resounding maybe. But again, whether they believe it or not, they are going to deny, 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 because it is not something that they are allowed to even speak of between themselves, much less with you. Unlike legitimate churches, y'all, that have a Bible that you are encouraged to not only read but to study, Church of Scientology has a set of levels that release information as you are mentally prepared to learn them. That in reality means that you've paid enough money and then been invited to access the most secret and bizarre truths of the Church of Scientology. Did y'all realize that? That whenever you get to OT3, that you actually still have to be invited. Like they can tell you no, and you have to go back and do some more studying and all this stuff and pay some more auditing bills, hundreds of dollars an hour. And there's just, yeah, even after you actually deserve to be there, you still have to be invited. They have to like okay it. Most Scientologists say that these stories are saved until you are so or most ex-Scientologists, sorry, say that these stories are saved until you are so indoctrinated into the cult, or you've invested so much time and money into the cult that you can't accept that it was all the imagination of a very mentally ill, manipulative man who, by his own words, only started a church to get rich. But to be fair, there are some, due to their indoctrination, who completely buy into the story. Okay? Buy being the operative word, right? I mean, seriously, I I need to start whenever I'm making my thumbnails using the dollar sign for the S on Scientology, because that's what it's all about, isn't it? By the time you make it to OT3, did you realize that you're not even halfway up the bridge to total freedom? And that those upper levels, 3 through 8, take longer and cost more money than any of the ones below it? So even these people that have spent like a decade, 2 decades, sometimes 3 decades just trying to get to OT3, it's going to take them longer and more expensive to get all the rest of the way up. That's why very few do. You don't really, they can point them out. Like, even I've seen, ex Scientologists that they'll see somebody that they remember from Scientology, and they'll be like, they're an OT8, and there'll be like a bunch more or something, and it's like It's rare. It's not like they're an OT8, they're an OT8, they're an OT8, they're an OT8. No, it's one here and there and very far between. But I wanted to not just read what a bunch of websites say about the members' belief or disbelief. So I dug deep and I found some actual members or ex members who commented on the subject. And there were many with varying views or insights. And I'm only going to list a few just because they're, it's kind of repetitive. They either believe it or they don't. So it's like I could name off 20, 30 people, but what good does it do? It's pretty much the same thing. So Cameron Guest, a 30-year now ex Scientologist, he agreed that once you hear about the XENU story, that you're not allowed to discuss it. Cameron grew up in Scientology since the age of 2 and became a Sea Org member. He says it took him 10 years to rid himself of the indoctrination after he left. That was after 30 years, guys. He was in there a while. Cameron said most Scientologists have no idea about who the intergalactic warlord is, or that he existed. They have no idea that story, which was actually released in 1967. As an OT3, Scientologists are taught, according to Cameron, that if they tell or hear about the material, they will get sick and die. Y'all, they're going to get pneumonia and die. That is why OT3 and above publicly deny it and won't even talk about it. Won't even talk about it in interviews or in discussions or even amongst themselves. If the subject's brought up, they will simply just lie and leave. Okay. Jeffrey J, an ex-Scientologist of 25 years, says he believes 99% of Scientologists never hear that story. It's simply too expensive and takes years to reach that level. It's very difficult for most people. So I can imagine too that especially like some of the public Scientologists and stuff that have a life, they have a job and school and families and all this stuff. It probably takes them even longer to go up the bridge a lot of times, and especially if they're not rich. If they're just like middle class or even lower class, I'm sure it takes longer because they can't afford it. So I can understand where he's coming from saying that probably 99% of Scientologists have never heard that story and never will unless they leave Scientology. He went on to say that many are aghast, y'all, that this ridiculous thing was the big secret that they worked a decade or more and spent $250,000 or more to see. Some people, he says, leave the church when they see the story and realize Scientology is nothing but bullshit. Others think the story is fake, and their reaction. Oh, and that their reaction is some sort of a test. I was like, what are they talking about? A test? I wrote this morning, y'all. So if they're like saying, oh, it's fake and it's like a test to see how we're going to react, I'm calling that denial. Many realize they will lose their jobs, homes, families, and if they don't act like they believe the story, they'll be completely exiled from everything that they've known for no telling how many years. And a lot of them will even, lie and say that OT3 helped them tremendously, even when they know it didn't do anything. Very few former Scientologists And even Scientologists that are still in actually believe that story, according to several of the people that I listened or that I was reading about. Okay, Vito Simon, who is not a former Scientologist but studies Abrahamic religions, says, of course, there are people who believe it. Why is it any weirder than, for instance, Christianity? Both make hundreds of supernatural assumptions without valid evidence or reasoning. He's got a point. I've made that same point on here before. Doug Parent, a former Scientologist, didn't say for how long, said whether they believe it or not is something you will never know unless they decide to leave Scientology. I think that's probably the most true statement that I've heard concerning this in a long time. Jeffrey Hawkins, which is an ex Scientologist, author, and whistleblower, says most Scientologists have not been exposed to the XENU story. Scientologists are forbidden from speaking about or hearing about that level or story. He also said that some claim the story was made up by the media to make Scientology look bad or to make them look weird. But he says that it's ridiculous because you can access the whole XENU story in LRH's handwriting online. And he actually online had a picture of it, had a screenshot of it in LRH's handwriting, which was about like a doctor's. I'm not sure how people, but it was like one step above a doctor. And you know how doctors sign things. Okay, I cannot pronounce this guy's last name, but his first name is Carl. He's an ex Scientologist, and he agreed with Cameron and said because Xenu is part of the top levels, the top big levels in a long and expensive series of procedures and courses that pretend to turn ordinary people into mild mannered supermen. Most are so indoctrined they will believe any fantastic bullshit presented by Scientology. These are quotes, y'all. This is not me. He also says Scientology has utterly destroyed any trace of critical thinking ability in their minds. Sensible humans find the story hilarious. And that is the reason Scientology leaders are awfully butthurt about websites like xenu.net, which expose the bullshit to public ridicule. Pete Griffiths, a 7-year Scientologist who remained a brainwashed supporter of the cult for 4 years, that's his quote, raised the question not does Xenu exist, but is he still alive? So that's a whole new one, right? Like if you believe he existed, is he alive? Is he still out there? He says possibly. And he puts on here that, he's going with the story, y'all. This is not his actual theory, but he's just kind of according to the story this, so that. Anyway, he said that it's possible, in Hubbard's own words, Xenu was imprisoned inside a mountain and guarded by an eternal battery, which suggests some degree of immortality. The location of this mountain, he says, one day is Madeira or Madeira, and the next it's a planet called Coltice. So who knows? Did he escape? Is he among us? Is he alive and still in a mountain? You know. So, y'all, after much research on this question, you wouldn't believe how many hours I spent on this. Do Scientologists believe the story of Xenu? I personally conclude I don't freaking know. You'd have to do a study of all OT3s and higher Scientology, active Scientologists and ex-Scientologists, and only then, if they were honest, would you have a definitive answer. And since that's just really not possible, and since they're not going to be honest, because they're going to tell you it doesn't exist, they're not going to tell you whether they believe it or not because it doesn't exist. But I do believe one thing completely. I understand how years, often since birth, can lead you to believe even the most outlandish things. I am a Christian. By faith, I believe in God and Jesus and heaven and hell. Does that make me a cult member or crazy or stupid? I don't think so. So I give grace to the present day or ex Scientologists who believe in this whole just ideology, you know? Who am I to judge, y'all? That said, I fully believe that LRH was an insane, narcissistic, gaslighting, madman who created a fake religion with made up tech and outlandish bullshit stories of aliens and supernatural powers and body thetans, and he did it to make money. And he cared not one bit for the people that he hurt and that he continues to hurt, even though he's been dead forever. Y'all, he stood against psychiatry after years of using it and trying to get help because they labeled him insane and in need of being institutionalized. He lied about every aspect of his life and wrote 250 sucky ass sci-fi novels. And then we still wonder if he was lying about XENU. I can't stand the man. He makes me sick to look at his pictures or to hear his voice. It makes me cringe. I can't stand the memory of this man, and that memory of this man is embedded in so many people's conscience. I just can't believe it, and it just makes me sick. But I don't dislike the victims, either the ones that are still in or obviously the ones that are out of the cult. They are why I make these videos, to support those who escaped and to be here to inform those who are still being victimized, because they are victims. Other than the very, yeah, looks like I don't like RH. Yeah, I don't. Anyway, other than those at the very top of Scientology, and even them on some level, are victims. You know, I don't care for Mike Rinder. I'm very disappointed in him and that whole group, but they're victims. I mean, yes, they victimized people, and I think that they need to atone for that. But they're also victims. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. So do any of you believe in XENU? Like really, really believe in him? And what do you all see when you think of XENU? Was he a good guy or was he a bad guy? Because I always think bad guy, and yet they'll be like, praise XENU and XENU's my homeboy and all this. And I'm like, he was kind of a bad guy, at least from what I've seen. So anyway, I'm going to go back to my chat now. I told you guys it was going to be a quicker one. So I'm going to go up here and see if I can figure out where I left off. Mischief Managed isn't here today to, whoops, I passed it. Mischief isn't here today to star the ones that I need to read. So I'm going to have to kind of go through here. So, oh, Joel, on Christmas Day, it would have been his daughter's 47th birthday. Bless your heart. I'm so sorry. My heart hurts for you. Yeah. Marilee says, Joel, I'm so sorry. My sister lost her daughter over 40 years ago, and she still carries the loss. My daughter, oh, thank God. My sister died in 96, and it still hurts. you know. Yeah, Susan, I love Brooke so much. I do too. You never get over it. You just get used to it. You're right, Joel. Mm. Lisa Kelson's here. She says she's late to the live again. I'll be watching and listening while I cook up some enchiladas. Oh my God. Mark asked a while ago, what are we going to do for dinner? And I said, I don't know. Which generally means we'll either eat a sandwich, cook up some eggs, or maybe a TV dinner. But I'm not into the TV dinners right now. But anyway, tomorrow night we're going to go out to dinner for his um, birthday. That's why I scheduled the live with Brooke so early. So, oh, we lost her to SIDS. I do remember you saying that. She was born on Christmas Day, passed on St. Patrick's Day. Mm. Marilee, I will tell Mischief. I absolutely will. And she will probably pop in and see this. DOA is a fraud. Good to see you. He says hello to everybody. Yeah. Lisa Kelson says that tells Joe, tells Joe that she's sorry that you're in that horrible club. My parents are in it too. So many people have lost children. You know, it was really weird. My sister was 24 when she passed. She was on that fin diet and was on it for 6 weeks, took it absolutely exactly as it was prescribed. My mom was on it. I was on it. She had a seizure and died like instantly. Like, it wasn't, I mean, it was awful. She had a 2-year old son, but around in this little community, we've had like 6 or 7 deaths of kids, that grew up here and lived here their whole lives that died at 24. So it made you kind of nervous. Like even my daughters, when they got to 24, they got kind of nervous. They would be like, "Oh God," So Joel says, when you think about it, after spending years and a bunch of money, all to find out at the end that it's just complete BS. Talk about feeling stupid. Absolutely. Can you just imagine? You have to just be so like, are you freaking kidding me? I'm surprised people don't get hurt. Like, I know that some Scientologists unalive themselves when they get to those higher levels, but I'm actually surprised that they don't go beat the snot out of some of the higher ups that know. Oh, Joe McCoy says the ultimate con. When you get to the end of the trail, it's just an empty box. Absolutely. Mischief Managed is here. I'm going to be under an hour, Missy. Yeah. Jill's been thinking of Mischief Managed. We all have today. It's been a rough day for her. Marilee says that based on Scientology's teachings, Xenu must be alive. I kind of think so too, by the teachings. Hmm. Whoops. Oh, no, 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 don't do that. My thing went crazy on me. Aw. Mr. Vanish says, Joe, the love that I had thrown on me this morning has helped a great deal. I hope you know that I love you too, Mischief Manage. You are one of my favorite people. I was talking about you today at my daughter's. I went over there for a few minutes to Megan's house. And I don't know, I was saying something about you and she I don't even remember what it was. It wasn't anything. I think just that you'd already put tomorrow's live on Facebook and that kind of thing. Well, Anyway, she said, I can't believe everything that she does for you, and just, for nothing, just to be nice. And I'm like, that's how the mods are on this SPTV community. These mods are amazing people. I mean, it just, oh my goodness. I mean, I got y'all's addresses because I want to randomly just send you guys a little bit of something just that says I love you and thank you. But so, I don't know when, but just randomly, if I see something that I think looks like one of my mods needs it, I'm going to pick it up and send it to you. So don't be surprised. Yes, Mischief, it is 100% about the money. Marilee says, sounds like that you don't like LRH. Don't like is mild. Mischief Manager Susie, how do you really feel about Elron? I don't want to get demonetized, y'all. Marilee and Mischief trying to get me in trouble. Yes, Joel says LRH has a legacy, one of pain, death, and horror that goes on after his death. You are remembered as much for your actions as your words. His is all bad. Yes, Marilee, XENU was supposed to be a bad guy. I think so too. So I don't understand the whole XENU is my homeboy and praise XENU and all that, because I'm like, no. Oh, Lisa says that's horrible, Susie. My best friend died from that diet. It weakened her heart so bad. She passed away with a heart attack at 36. Yeah, I know several people that died from it, and I was on it, and my mom was on it, but we were okay. Yes, that's what I need to do, Lisa. We need to get some of Jenna's good cookies for all those awesome mods. I put on a deal the other day. I said I would pay you to make me some cookies. She hadn't taken me up on it, but I'm telling you, I'd send her some money. Mm. Oh, Lisa Kelson says that she passed away 6 years after her brother. We all did everything together. My brother died of AIDS in 2000. I am so sorry. That has to be so horrible. I can't imagine. Losing my sister was one of the most traumatic, probably the most traumatic thing in my life until I lost my mom. And I still have days where I don't know if I'm going to survive that one. I uh I will just randomly, this is like TMI, y'all. But in the middle of the night, it'd be like 3:30 in the morning, I'll get up and let the dogs out, and I'll go in and I'll sit down on the toilet because I got to pee, because if I get up, I'm going to have to pee. No matter if it's once or 10 times. But anyway, I'll sit down, and as soon as I sit down, I'll be just like, I want my mom, and I'll just bust out crying. And it's like, where did this even come from? I'm in a good mood. I just woke up, let the dogs out. They gave me loves. Everybody's happy. I go in to go to the bathroom so I can go back and snuggle with Mark a little bit. And I just bust into tears. And this happens almost every single night. And it happens randomly throughout the day. And she's been gone for over a year. And I just don't know that I'm ever going to get over it. Joel says, as we travel through life, we are lucky enough to find great folks giving love and pleasure to us. This group is an example of that. Isn't it, though? Mm. Lisa says, we all carry our own grief in one way or another. Watching my hero die of AIDS, I cannot imagine. Which was the worst thing I've ever seen. But it was still a blessing to be able to be there. I bet so. I bet so. I have a friend that has AIDS. Um, a high school friend. And he's doing well. It's a lot different now than it was in 2000, thankfully. But I think of him all the time, and I'm just like amazed that he's doing so well. So, Susan P says it's been 13 years, and I think of my mom every day, most of the day. Me too. Oh, hi, Eric. So sorry to everyone that goes through this. Yay, Eric. Eric's my homeboy, not Xenu. Eric, and he just like one of the coolest guys. He is DOA. I agree. Wave at Eric. He is. Yes, Lisa. I'm so glad that. Oh, girl. But medicine has come so far. My little brother has HIV now. Oh my goodness, girl. You need to come on and tell your story. I mean, that's an extraordinary story. Losing your sister and brother, and now this. Uh, it's just it's a story that so many of us share, not in the same way, but Mischief Managed lost a dear friend in 2000 to AIDS. Hmm. Marilee says, I don't know if I'm lucky or not, but my mom was really distant when I was a kid, and I miss her a bit, but it honestly doesn't break my heart. I hate that she was distant when you were a kid because that was, time that you needed your mom. But if it makes it easier now, sweetheart, yes, Lisa, you need to write a book, but you can start by telling your story. Email me or message me, please. I promise. I am a very, very kind interviewer. I really don't say a whole lot. I let you tell your story. If you get emotional, I try to help. If you get flustered, I try to say something, if you forget where you're going, I try to remind you. But I don't ask a whole lot of questions. I don't get you to talk about stuff you don't want to talk about. So anybody that wants to tell your story, I'm the person to tell it to because I am just I'm kind. I'm much kinder than a lot of journalists because I've been through some stuff and I know how it feels. If y'all notice, look at this eyebrow has about fallen out, and this eyebrow is still an eyebrow. Y'all, I'm sitting here looking at my face. That's why I'm always looking away because I cannot stand to just sit and look at my face. So yeah, but I just looked up there and I'm like, this eyebrow's big, but this eyebrow don't have any hair. Why didn't I notice that whenever I was fixing my hair? Well, fixing my hair. I didn't even brush it, y'all. I went like this because it was like flat on one side where I've been laying. But y'all, I'm going to go ahead and go. We're at 43 minutes. We're under time, but we might go over. Yeah, thank you. They do still have a good shape. They're just about gone though. They were gone. They've just grown back, and now this one's fallen out again. But I also don't have any hair on my legs or my arms or anything, just my head, and now it's falling off of my eyes. So my eyelashes are really getting thin. I've just quit even putting mascara on because of it, but I'll be done in November, the end of November, and hopefully nothing after that. I go back to the doctor this next week. Well, I go on the 4th, and I'm going to talk to her and see if this is um operable. And if I can have another operation and get rid of some of this cancer, I want to do that. Ooh, Kim's enchiladas are almost ready. Time for dinner. You are making me hungry. Anyway, guys, I appreciate it. Eric, thank you. I am well. I'm doing pretty good. Just tired and sores all in my mouth. So that's why I'm always drinking something. Because if my tongue and everything dries out from talking, it hurts so bad. But I have a special mouthwash that I use. I'm doing all the things. Ugh, all of it. So it's just chemo. I've been at this a while, y'all. I'm fine. I thank you all for being here. I love you all, and I will see you on people's streams tonight. Because if there's any lives, I'll be watching some of them anyway, and then I'll catch the rest of them on replay. But anyway, I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow because tomorrow's going to be important. So try to be here, okay? 3 o'clock, uh, my time. It just went out of my central standard time, 3 o'clock central standard time. So Set your alarms and be here because we need to be here and support Brooke as she tells the first part of her story. Thank you. Love you guys. Bye.